Morning, everyone, and you are very welcome to our today's webinar. Thank you for joining us today. Few housekeeping items before we start. So as attendees, you are all muted, but of course, you can ask us a few questions by submitting them in the Q&A section of GoToWebinar panel. We will try to reply to all of them at the end of this webinar. We will have about 10-15 minutes to answer all your questions, but no worries at all if we don't manage to answer all of them. We will follow up with you by email. This webinar is also recorded, so at the end you will receive the link to the recording and this webinar slides. And well, let me pass the mic to today's presenters, my colleagues, and enjoy this webinar. Chris.
Thanks, Nelly. Okay, so good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Sibley, and I'm the Senior Regional Sales Manager for BarTender by Seagull Scientific. I look after the Nordic territories, UK and Ireland, and Sub-Saharan Africa. I've only got senior in my name because of the length of time I've been with the company, which is 19 years. And then later on, towards the end of the presentation, do please stick around to the end because my colleague Ian Cummings, our senior sales engineer, who's been with us marginally longer than me, will be talking you through that presentation. So now I'll let Simon introduce himself and Brother.
Yes, good morning, everybody. It's Simon from Brother UK. So I am a senior person, but it's not in my title, so I can get away with being a little bit younger than Chris. It's not my first rodeo. I've been in printing for over 30 years now, delivering labels and auto ID solutions. I've been with Brother 6 years and I work for our specialist print division. So I'll just take you through the agenda for today. So we'll have a brief introductions of both companies, Brother and BarTender. And after that, we'll move to looking at the current food labelling challenges today in the industry, and then how Brother and BarTender can deliver print solutions to meet these challenges. The team are going to go off camera while we do the presentations, but we'll come back on as soon as the video is finished and start answering those questions as they come through. Okay, we'll see you shortly. Okay, so again, thanks for joining the webinar. We're going to spend a couple of minutes talking about Brother across Europe and its current printing portfolio and products. So welcome to Brother Europe. So our base, as you can see here, is in the UK, and it's actually next to our UK office here in Manchester. Our European division is part of Brother Global Group, reporting into Brother Industries Limited, based in Japan. We're now in our 113th year. The business was started in Japan by two brothers in 1908, repairing sewing machines. A business we're actually still in today. Brother has grown over the years to become a worldwide concern and now has an annual turnover in excess of 631 billion yen, which is probably around 5 billion euros in our money. Okay, so today we're going to focus on our desktop printing and food labelling. But as you can see from this graphic, our printer range is quite expansive. So we go from our unique A4 thermal mobile printing to belt-worn printers, desktop label printers, as well as your more traditional A4 and A3 inkjet devices. All our products are supported by best-in-class warranties and a full range of Brother original consumables. Okay, so what are our labelling credentials? So we've been producing labels since the 1980s, and from one simple SKU, we now have over 80 different labelers, producing anything from simple craft labels to complex, high-volume product labels within the manufacturing sector. Okay, I'll now pass you back over to Chris to do a brief introduction of BarTender.
Okay, so who are we at BarTender? Well, we too have been in the industry for over 30 years, developing our software to so that you can design your templates to print through these wonderful Brother printers. We were founded in 1985 in Bellevue, Seattle, which is where we are still located in terms of our headquarters today. In 1987, we launched the first BarTender, which, like every other package at the time that was out there, was a DOS-based package. But we had the inside track due to our close proximity to Big Brother, Microsoft, of this Windows thing that was coming down the line. So we then took what was a monumental decision at the time to redevelop BarTender from scratch to make it a Windows-based package. Okay, and we released the first BarTender for Windows in 1993. And of course, to do this, we needed to be developing Windows drivers so that everything integrates seamlessly. And the first Windows drivers that we released came out briefly or shortly afterwards. 1999 saw the opening of our first European office in Madrid, which I come under, and so does Ian, my colleague. And I joined a couple of years later, and our EMEA HQ is still located in Madrid today. So we truly are a global company today. Since I've joined back in the day, we've also opened offices in APAC, in Taipei, and a Japan office in Tokyo. And because of this, we're able to offer 24-hour technical support in a kind of follow the sun scenario. What we do, so our aim at BarTender is to help you guys that are actually using the software and the printers in question to output the barcodes, the labels, the packing slips, etc., etc. And we do this via Brother printers using BarTender to design the templates originally. And as we've developed BarTender over the years, it's become a very highly integratable piece of software. So typically, we don't really care what business system you might be running, what ERP, WMS, or financial management package you might have running. We partner with all the leading global software corporations. So we're SAP certified, Microsoft Gold Partner, Oracle Gold Partner, etc., etc. And BarTender can integrate with pretty much any business system that is out there to generate those print jobs through the printers and output, as I say, the barcodes, labels, packing slips, etc., whatever it is you guys want to print. So why BarTender, I hear you ask? Well, one of the things we've really focused on over the years with BarTender is its ease of use. And this goes back to the fact that it is a Windows package. So if anybody has used another Windows package like PowerPoint that we're using today, Word, Excel, the idea is that you can open up BarTender and feel immediately quite comfortable in your surroundings. It's not like you're going somewhere that's completely new to you. As I've mentioned, we have offices globally, so we're able to offer sales and technical support around the world, but also we work with a network of value-add partners who are located in most countries around the world, so you can get local support as well. We're voted #1 Gartner customer recommended software and have been for the last 2 years. And for those of you who don't know who Gartner is, they are the world's leading info technology research and advisory company. 23 of the Gartner supply chain top 25 companies use BarTender, and all the Gartner healthcare supply chain top 25 companies are all BarTender customers. And I guess of most relevance for today's presentation, we've been the recipient of Top Software and Technology Providers Award by the Food Logistics publication for the last, well, since 2014. Okay, so BarTender comes very highly recommended.
Okay, so thanks, Chris, for that, and I hope that gives you an idea of how BarTender and Brother fit into the labelling world. So let's have a look at some of those food industry challenges. So here are some of the challenges we've identified for the food and hospitality industry. We're going to focus on some of these today, including waste, compliance, traceability, and transparency. Okay, let's look at food waste. As you can see from these statistics, across Europe, 88 million tonnes of food is wasted each year, which would equate to around 173 kilograms of waste per person per year. The latest statistics for the UK shows a total of 7.3 million tonnes of household waste each year, with 2 million is thrown away, not being used on time. And for this third, date labelling is cited as a major factor. How can we help with this? Obviously, labelling to extend food life for consumers is always the way to go. So the next one is compliance. So one element of compliance with food regulation across Europe is allergen signposting. This can be done for meals via menus, paper or online, and on food products themselves via label on the outer packaging. There is existing provision for this across the EU, but UK have gone a little step further this year by implementing Natasha's Law. This covers full ingredient and allergen labelling for all pre-packed foods for direct sale. Okay, let's move to traceability and transparency. When displaying data correctly and implementing a menu management system, you're ensuring both staff and customers have the correct information at all times. This, when combined with food preparation tracking within the HACCP health and safety standards, all provides improved traceability and transparency. Across Europe, traceability in the food supply chain has a legal framework, with food law being harmonised at the EU level. The aim of this regulation is to protect human health and consumer interest in relation to food. Okay, so as we've seen over the past 18 months, COVID has created new challenges for the food and hospitality industry across the world. At no time is it more important to understand how to make your venue and food supply safe for all customers. On how hospitality has adapted during the pandemic is the increase in takeaway and delivery services being provided. Although takeaway meals do not need labelling under current legislation, it can be deemed the best practice to provide individual allergen labels for each separate meal for the consumer. Pre-packed home-cooked meals do come under existing food regulations in most regions. Providing labels that include full allergen ingredient list, cooking, storage instructions, and use-by dates will allow the consumer to make the best decisions for them before consuming the product. Okay, so there are some challenges that the industry faces right now. But let's have a look how Brother and BarTender can provide labelling solutions to support these challenges. Okay, so from our perspective, printing both preparation and customer-facing labels increases both accuracy and efficiency within a food service operation. The availability of a digital food labelling solution gives you the ability to print on demand anywhere in the kitchen. This keeps kitchens compliant whilst reducing waste and improving customer service. Our printers are easy to use with a drop-in label roll, automatic label calibration, and an intuitive user interface. I'll now hand you back to Chris to expand on how BarTender can support you in things like label template design and integrated print solutions.
Okay, thanks, Simon. So from our perspective, what we're trying to do is help you produce clearer food safety labeling. Okay, now within BarTender, one of the things we've done is we have these very easy to use label allergen templates that are already in the software to meet the regulatory requirements. So you don't have to be starting these labels from scratch. The list of allergens is available in multiple languages. So we don't just assume that everybody has its first or second language as English. And in terms of web-based printing that we offer in the higher editions, it means that you can print labels pretty much from anywhere to anywhere, really. As I mentioned before, the ability to integrate your printing solution with your business system is something that we're very strong on in BarTender with the integration platform that we offer. And in short, BarTender makes compliance with the EU's FIC labelling requirements very straightforward and easy. And would you like to talk a little bit about the core benefits?
I will. Okay, so core benefits. So our food labelling solutions will support both your HACCP compliance on all legal provisions regarding food information required on a label that you need to supply to consumers, traceability and accountability.
Okay, so from a compliance perspective with BarTender, we adhere very closely to the industry standards, and the automated emphasis of the allergens in the text, whether that be emboldening of those parts or putting those words into italics, means that there is no need for any programming. It is all done automatically within BarTender.
Okay, so let's have a look at safety. The labels will clearly identify all allergens and ingredients, making customers' decision easy whilst protecting your brand.
And in BarTender, what we've done is we've been able to implement a controlled user access to templates. So if you look at something like the librarian application, certain users have particular permissions to allow them to go in and literally book out a label, perhaps make changes to it, and then book the template back in. So you get full traceability about who's made changes to any templates and when. And all this, again, is aimed at enhancing customer safety.
Okay, so thanks, Chris. So efficiency. So introducing a digital solution will automate your process and in turn reduce the need for paperwork and eliminate all handwritten labels and improve your workflow.
Yeah, and by having this automation in there, it means that we can reduce the manual errors because there's less human intervention required. And again, the efficacy of being able to access label templates from any location with BarTender means that you don't have to go back to the office, start up your PC and open BarTender. You can have, for example, the print portal application running on your handheld device, providing you can get web access, you can get access to those label templates from any location.
Okay, so let's look at cost control. Cost savings will be met with improved workflow and reducing labour hours, and producing accurate labels will reduce waste, of which will lead to improved profit margin.
And all these things that we're talking about here should help to decrease any downtime, which means you get an increase in efficiency. And ultimately, what we're trying to produce are more cost-effective solutions for you, our customers.
Thanks, Chris. So let's have a look at Brother's label printing solutions. Using the Brother TD series of label printers, you can perform all your food labelling requirements, whether it's for food safety labelling or customer-facing labels. See some samples shown above, printed on both the TD2 and TD4 series printers. These printers, combined with BarTender software, provides a powerful tool to manage multiple label designs and data sources to support labelling within all aspects of food production. This includes automated allergen highlighting, dynamic text field sizing, batch printing, and much more. Brother have a full range of label printers to cover all your food labelling needs. This now includes thermal transfer as well as direct thermal for those more extreme labelling environments. Also, to complement our TD series, we now have our TJ series shown on the far right here. The TJ series are built to support higher volume label printing and will include such features as high capacity label and ribbon facility and inbuilt rewinders. Our printer comes with an industry standard leading 3-year warranty from our manufacturer, all complemented with a range of enhanced service options extending up to 4 and 5 years. Don't forget about our consumables. All our Brother consumables are certified by ourselves and available from Brother. I'll now hand over to Chris to talk about BarTender solutions for the food industry.
Thanks, Simon. Okay, so key for us, as I mentioned earlier, is about ease of use, and that extends to our edition offering. All right, so we have just 4 editions of BarTender: Starter through Professional, Automation, and Enterprise. And the nice thing about this is there is only one licensing model, which is printer-based licensing. There are no hidden extras or add-ons that you have to purchase in conjunction with these editions. The features or application that you require will determine which edition you need to purchase. And with this in mind, we'll take out the starter edition now, because for allergen labeling, you would require at least the professional edition of BarTender. Okay, so you can access things like the intelligent templates. And then if we move on to the automation edition, this also allows you to gain access to the powerful integration platform that I've talked to you about already. And then further on into the enterprise edition, we add things like web-based printing. So what about some customer enablement tools? Well, key for us again is that we offer maintenance and support 24-hour Monday to Friday. Okay, this can be via phone, online chat, etc. You can actually purchase a higher level of support, which would give you access to some support over the weekends. But with this maintenance and support contract in place, you also have access to free software version updates as and when we release them for BarTender. This obviously means that anything we add to the software in terms of features and applications, you can gain access to at no extra cost because you already have a valid maintenance and support contract in place. We also offer pre-sales technical support. Okay, this means we can offer you free help and advice from our sales engineering team, how BarTender might be able to help you with your labeling solution. Okay, and typically we get on a call with you as customers, and maybe we'd involve your value add partner who is selling you BarTender as well, so they can add their expertise to the call. We also offer professional services which are available for purchase online, and we can offer you this in terms of basic training on how to do a simple template design to the higher level enterprise integration and implementation techniques that you might require depending on your setup. I mean, BarTender these days is truly trusted by global food companies. Okay, the aim is to create safe, reliable, cost-effective food labeling solutions. BarTender in conjunction with our Windows printer drivers by Seagull and in conjunction with Brother printers. So if you look across to some of those names there on the slide, these are all companies that either are using or have used BarTender. You can see that you'd be in pretty good company if you were using BarTender.
Thanks, Chris. A great list of reference sites there. I just wanted to focus on one of our original food safety solutions, which ultimately has helped build our portfolio of food solutions we have today. This digital food safety solution was built to support quick service restaurants and similar food outlets where a standard set of ingredients are used. This digital solution supports the kitchen's HACCP process and gives full control of stock rotation and the ability to extend food shelf life, ultimately reducing waste and increased profit margin. I spoke to a customer just yesterday who had just implemented this process in their kitchen, and they're actually saving 6 hours a week just by implementing this label system, so reducing the need for handwriting labels and ordering multiple label sizes and designs for different days of the week. As you can see, we have a statement from one of our biggest UK food safety customers, Subway. We've supplied this solution across Europe to a number of other companies like Spar Group, McDonald's, Legoland and Sunset Boulevard in the Nordics. It's video time, the bit you've probably all held on and waited for, where we're going to have a look at how BarTender and Brother Printer can work together to produce fully compliant, high quality food labels.
Okay, thanks very much, Simon. So I'm going to hand over to my colleague Ian, who's going to run you through this short video from the BarTender side, showing you how to design and print templates for the food industry. Over to you, Ian.
Okay, thank you. So as the video starts, here we go. First, we check the template has the Brother printer selected, like so. Close. And next, in the file allergens.txt, note that the first row contains allergen words in English. There are other translations as well, as an example. This file is connected to the template via a named data source called allergens of an external file type. It has a relative path that helps the portability when sharing with other computers. The same for the extensions or exceptions.txt file, with the first row containing the English exception words. This is also an external file type. Both files can be easily edited with any text editor to add or remove words. So now let's take a look at the ingredients that is supplied by a database field. A CSV file is used as the database in this demo, but it can be of any type of data file or database. We see there are other fields like, so in the database, we see that there are other fields like GTIN, nutritional values, with the ingredients field at the very end, which contains the ingredients data to be automatically modified by the script for highlighting the allergens. Like so, as you can see. Now we can navigate through the records using the Record Navigator toolbar to preview at design time how each label should look like so. And then clicking the Print Preview button will first display the data entry form, and in here we can enter in additional information such as best before date, or to choose the allergen highlighting style that we wish to use when printing. In the form, we can also set the print quantity, as we'll see, and note that using a form is not mandatory, and it can be designed exactly to your liking. So let's take a look at the print preview. As we see here, we can navigate through each label in the preview. And when we're happy with that, yes, it looks good. Now let's print and hit the print button like so.
Okay, so this label is now been sent via the Seagull Scientific print driver through BarTender. This provides virtually instant printing of multiple labels, one after another, from the Brother printer, in this case, the TD4550 DNWB.
Thank you for the great presentation once again. A few questions here. Is printed nutritional information in different shades, boldness of black, gray permissible as opposed to printed in color, red, amber, green? Gentlemen?
I guess that is a technical question, so I'll take that. With BarTender and the Seagull Scientific printer driver, when you're printing to a monochrome printer, such as a thermal printer, we can, rather like newspaper print, we can approximate the differing patterns to show the difference between a light or a dark shade. So I think, as you saw in the presentation, you get a representation of color, albeit in black and grays.
So I have the free BarTender labeling which came along with printer. This is used for printing food product labels. Would today's presentation be able to update the free version I haven't used? And there is a second question here. Upgrade of my computer is now being considered. Do I get the BarTender software on the new computer when it is purchased?
Okay, I think I'll take the first part of that, certainly. I think relating to the free software, so I'm assuming that you've received the ultralight edition of BarTender, which is the free software that came with the printer. If the ultralight is not sufficient for your requirements, then you would need to purchase one of the commercially available editions, whether that be starter, professional, automation, or enterprise. You should be able to do that from the going back to the reseller that sold you the printer, but if not, please reach out to us certainly any templates that you've created with the free ultralight edition, you'll be able to save and use with a full license. So you won't need to start designing your templates again. And what was the second part, Nelly?
Second part was about basically transferring BarTender software on a new computer when it is purchased.
Okay, so I think that's me again. I talked during the presentation about one licensing model for BarTender. So the way that works is across all editions, you can install, you can purchase one license of BarTender and install it on an unlimited number of networked PCs. So there's no restriction to the number of PCs you can install it on. The key thing is to how many printers you wish to print from BarTender, and you purchase printer licensing accordingly. Hopefully that answers the question. If not, as Nelly says, please type further questions in the box, or you know, or send us an email and we'll pick up from that.
So we need to label refrigerated food in the kitchen. So what printer would be recommended? Simon, I guess this one is for you.
That's one for us. That's great. So if we're talking about freezer labels, we're trying to recommend using our thermal transfer range of printers. So you mix that with a gloss label and a ink ribbon. So this will allow you to have a permanent image and also have a label substrate that will survive, and also we recommend freezer adhesive. So these three elements, the gloss finish on the paper, the adhesive, and using a Brother thermal transfer printer will give you the best freezer solution.
Okay, thank you, Simon. But is it possible to print in color?
From BarTender's side, yes, BarTender is a fully color capable software, able to print to color capable printers. I guess, Simon, you answer on the Brother side.
Yeah, so our thermal range of printers are mono, so it will be a black and white. We can have single colored ribbons, or you can use a pre-print scenario, and the Brother printer will print your variable text in black.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Another question here. Is a documentation about the database and text file function for the allergens and so on available?
On the Seagull Scientific website, if you go to the support center mini site, you'll find that there are various articles, videos, and other assets for assistance on the BarTender software. I believe we put together some sort of package of documents and supporting files for the allergen labeling requirements. So I believe it's there somewhere, although I need to double check.
Okay, thank you, Ian.
And Nelly, just on that, obviously we as a BarTender partner can help supply that. We're supplying food labeling solutions to customers right now, supplying templates and access to those files with the allergens in. So it's certainly something Brother can also support from a printed template design and a database structure.
So to get the software on the new computer, that's a follow-up to the previous question. Would I need to go back to the printer supplier?
Yeah, so as Simon mentioned, you know, do contact Brother if you wish to purchase BarTender. You know, our route to market has always been via our network of value-add resellers. Okay, and I suppose something else that might be really worthwhile you're doing is getting signed up to the partner portal at portal.seagullscientific.com, where you can actually access things like the self-quoting tool, so you can gauge your pricing for the particular bartender that you might require. I think there was another question that I might have slightly missed, which was about moving BarTender from one PC to another. And just to say, you know, you can install on as many PCs as you wish, but if you wanted to put it onto another PC that's not on the network because you're upgrading, because you're actually moving your BarTender printing requirements, then you can deactivate the license on the PC that you had it on initially, and then install and reactivate it on the new PC.
Right. Thank you, Chris. That makes sense.
Yeah, sorry, no, just to clarify, yeah, anyone purchasing BarTender would use Brother Partner. We don't sell BarTender direct, so please look out for a Brother Printer Partner, and they'll have access to BarTender through, as Chris says, the BarTender Partner Network.
So are there any consumables coming together with the hardware? Simon, I guess this would be for you, obviously.
Yeah, so as we discussed in the presentation, there's a full label and ribber complement to our range. So just inquire on us. There's some stock sizes.
Yes, the labels are available in any size and most formats. So yeah, just come inquire on us what you require, and we can fulfill this through our panel partner network.
So could you please elaborate a bit on the web browser printing capabilities in the Enterprise Edition?
Would you like me to speak to this one,
Ian.
Chris?
Yeah, you go for that one, I think.
Okay, so Print Portal is a web application that runs from the Microsoft IIS web server. It comes as part of BarTender as an optional item that you can install, and is currently covered by the Enterprise Edition only. Essentially, in terms of its functionality, it allows a user who does not have BarTender installed on their PC to use a web browser to navigate to the BarTender web server, and from there they can go through the Print Portal web application to find and select a particular label that they wish to print, and from there they can choose the printer, the Brother printer they wish to print to. They can interact with a data entry form that may have been designed with that document, and then of course print. And in terms of printing, we can print over the standard Windows network if the web server is located within the business. We can also print to PDF if that's more wanted. And we can also print over the internet. So if the web server is located on the internet or in the cloud server somewhere, we're able to transport the print job from that server down to the on-premise site where the actual physical printer is located in a factory or warehouse. So it allows a company, for example, to publish labels for selecting and printing, which can then be printed at the business premise of a third-party user. So someone who's not part of the same company who owns the license. So it really does allow BarTender label printing to be much more broadly available to all sorts of users.
And if I can just add to that, if I may, please be aware there is, okay, that's fine. There is the ability to download the 30-day trial edition of BarTender, so you can test out all the features and applications that come with BarTender during that 30-day period, and you can also from that determine which edition you would require to create the templates and what have you that you're working on. And again, you can also save those templates out and use them with a fully purchased edition so that you don't waste time in development, as it were. And that download again can be accessed if you go through the website. It will direct you to the portal to just briefly register. a few details, and then you can download the 30-day trial edition.
And I see there are a follow-on question regarding if the documents that are published on Print Portal can then be modified. And the answer to that is no, not through the Print Portal web application. The web application simply exposes or publishes those documents for selection and printing in production by the web-based users.
Well, thank you very much for being with us today. And well, I hand over to my colleagues to say bye-bye.
Anyone? Oh, okay, guys. Thanks everybody. Hopefully all the technical hitches, it all works just fine.
Thanks for your time, everybody. Take care.
And lastly, thanks very much and goodbye.